It is Friday here, so we are starting our weekend off strong with favorite Fridays, ridiculously curly hair, and I'm gonna finish this coffee before we head out for a morning favorite of ours from this spot. Coffee. Let's go. Yeah, real excited. Is it favorite Friday? Buddy, we've also got to clean this place. Oh, yeah. There we go. There you go. Nugs, you're my nugs. Boop. Let's go. The spot I am staying at has amazing access to trails and hikes, and typically we don't get in the car to head out. But because it's Favorite Fridays, we're gonna drive to Feeney's favorite spot to run free, and then we're gonna continue off the celebration with something that I found the other day. Little challenging to get the shot because I don't want to leave the cattle gate open, but you get the gist. Tell by his antics. Come here. This is his favorite way to start the day. So although straight from my hip camp, I can actually walk to some open BLM land, we decided to just drive just a few minutes down the road just because this is one of our favorite pieces. It is so beautiful, so wild, and it's just quiet over here. So we went ahead and drove just down the road. And for those of you who don't know about Arizona's BLM land, Bureau of Land Management land, this is technically the people's land. So if you run up into a gate, this is simply a cattle gate because we are open ranch land here. And so this is to keep the cattle from getting onto the road on the other side. And basically, if the sign says, please keep gate closed, you're allowed to come in, use the land as you'd like. You can camp in camping spots. You can ride your ATVs, you can hike, you can run, you can do walks like we are. If it says state trust land, permit needed, obs, you need a permit. And there are some that are private land. So polite thing to do is just to leave the gate closed at all times behind you. Some are like this, just barbed wire. Some are actual gates. So it kind of just depends on who owns the piece of land. A lot of this is just owned by ranchers, or it is simply free open land that the ranchers went ahead and put fences on. So let's go do Feeney's favorite thing, which is, we call this a wild walk. It's a wild. This is the reality of these shots.
Won't you come with me? We'll go ride the breeze, singing "C'est la vie." It feels just right. It's a brand new day. I can hardly wait. So for goodness sake, I think it's time. Let's tell the world about it. Help spread a little.
This is the end of our third week here at this particular hip camp, and every day we go on walks in new ranch land. And this particular area and the surrounding Yucca, Wickiup, Kingman, I have always loved. I have loved this open ranch land. That is what I fell in love with the vastness of Arizona over a decade, God, probably like 2 decades ago almost at this point. And there's just something so soothing about these dirt roads. So I have not done BLM land yet in the RPod for a very specific reason. When I went and visited the 194C, it was kind of sitting on a hill. I realize that now. And so the dump tank, like the valves, all seemed a lot higher. They are not. They are very, very low. And since I travel alone, I don't really have a spotter that can just kind of walk with me and make sure I don't hit things. But I have found 2 spots that is no worse than a road into a campground, like a regular campground, like a gravel campground. So I'm on the edge still about debating it, just because I've had a string of bad luck. But I just am feeling very at peace with this particular plot, because there's a spot kind of towards the opening. So no, it's not the most epic, but it truly is no worse than going through a parking lot of a campground. So with that said, I think I might be spending an extra week in this gorgeousness. And I would love to have a week where Fiends wasn't on leash, because we will be moving back towards the city for a couple weeks because of family events and things that are going on. So it's gonna be a long time, at least 2 months probably, before he's really able to get these off-leash moments like this. And sorry if I look very distracted, because we are on open cattle land. I kind of have to really pay attention when Feeny starts to alert that he's smelling something, because I do know the cattle are on this side right now. So just watching. But anywho, that's my long way of saying that I think I might try a little bravery. And I keep walking the spot, and there's just nothing that I would hit. So I think it might be, because I don't have anything booked for next week. I kind of have an in-between week. Originally I was gonna go back into town to be closer to town, but I'm just happy out here. I'm happy out in the tiny little country with the country folk. And I say that with all love, because I'm a country folk. It's just people are kinder, people are nicer, and it's kind of my favorite way to live. So, you know, perfect combo for a favorite Friday. I got distracted by the beauty, and we are close to work start time, but one thing about Favorite Fridays is they need a favorite beverage. We know one of mine is coffee. So I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I didn't think I was gonna get to support local and do any sort of Favorite Friday coffee. But the other day I had to drive to town, and I will share why later. And I noticed there was a coffee cart. So we're gonna go to the coffee cart and get a coffee. It's like literally 1 minute down the road, and then we'll head to work. There was a donut cart, but I found them on social when I got back to the camper, and they're only there Tuesday and Wednesday, or Wednesday and Thursday, one of those combos. So no donuts for us, but we're gonna go get coffee. Oh, this is amazing. I got this caramel macchiato. It's from Railroad Coffee. I met Mike the coffee guy and Mike the hot dog guy. They were both there, and I just had a 15-minute conversation with them. They're amazing, salt of the earth kind of people. It's why I love small towns, because everybody waves, everybody's kind, everybody respects their stuff, and so they respect your stuff. And it just restores my faith in humanity, because truly, this is what's out there. If you just get out and get in your communities, people are genuinely kinder than the media portrays them to be. And this is the America I love. It's very reminiscent of Silverton, this area, and the people and the kindness and just the security and safety you feel. So just a great way to start a Friday. But now I gotta go to work. I really gotta work. It's really funny. Feeny's favorite thing to do when we get back is to just stay outside, which is actually kind of nice, because I always take like a few minutes to reorganize and gotta get the dog bed out and kind of refluff the area, because, you know, it's very easy for a small space to get very cluttered. So I'll make his breakfast, get my laptop up and going, get the blinds up. It's a beautiful morning, and he'll just sit outside. One of the biggest things I love about RV life is just 5 minutes in the morning while my computer's booting up, I can just clean and reorganize the space it will get a full like deep clean this weekend, which takes, you know, all of 40 minutes. But I just love like just how simple and clean it can be, super quick. But I wanted to share a fun little story. I know this is Favorite Friday, but it's also just like a day in the life hanging out with me of what happened this weekend. Or this week. So when I did my opening intro, you saw the fancy little remote on the door to lock my door. And that is because who got locked out of their RV and locked in their RV? Me. So how does that happen? How does both things happen? Well, I came back from an evening walk and I went to put my key in the door and the key wouldn't fit all the way. And I was like, oh crap. So I ran and got my spare key thinking, okay, like maybe I broke the key. That didn't go in either. So I got some grease, greased it up, still wouldn't go in. And I'm like, crap, key goes in the handle part, but not the deadbolt. So I'm like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? So I'm like pushing the door. I'm like trying to figure out, did it just not seat? Luckily, I left my front bedroom window open. So I, in the dark by this point, because it's now dark, I pulled the picnic table, which is very heavy, over to the window, shimmied myself through that window, and I'm going to tell you this, I just fit. It's the small bedroom window, y'all, so like, I just fit. Get in, go to pop open the door, nothing. The deadbolt thing's not working. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Now I can't even get out of the RV. So I pull YouTube up and I'm watching videos of got stuck in my RV, got locked. Like there are hundreds of videos. Like this is a major problem, people. And so I watch them all. I take apart the door, nothing. I can't get it open. I'm jamming a screwdriver in places and I have a glass door. So I was like, I can't be like super brutal with this thing or I'm going to break the door. So I happened to call my RV tech because I was like, maybe he just knows what's going on. Call him. He's like, I have no idea. He's like, but I will come out. And I was like, no, I can't ask you. It's now 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, I cannot ask you to come out. He's like, I will be there. Give me 20 minutes. So I then shimmy myself back out of the window because Fiends is just outside, grabbed his food because I'm a good mama, and I wait in the dark. Luckily, this hip camp, I should have turned my light on, but I think I was slightly worried that he wouldn't be able to fix it and then my LED would be on overnight because I certainly wasn't going through that window again. I literally am like bruised all up the side. So I'm sitting out there waiting. He gets here. He had to pick the lock because this broke. This is the deadbolt lock, the tumbler I think it's called or something, actually broke. This broke. Not anything like on, like not the like little red handle, which is what I thought. This broke. So he picked a lock. It took him about 15-20 minutes. Skill I apparently need to learn is how to pick locks. And he got me in. This fell out in his hand. And so then I still had a door handle that I could lock the handle when I left, but I could not lock from the inside. So luckily I'm in a very secure area. But he came out yesterday. I went ahead and overnighted the RV Locks V4. Went ahead, overnighted that, picked it up, and then he came out the next day and put that fancy new keyless entry in. The main reason I went with it is one, it's just super high quality. Like I was super impressed when I opened that box, like the heft of the thing. But now I have key option, I have a remote option, I have the keyless option. So I did go onto some forums because I was just curious. I was like, how like often does this happen? And I heard horror stories of people who had to cut through the portion under their beds. And this is in any RV. This wasn't just Forest River RPod because we all have the same door locks to get in. I couldn't do that, y'all, because that's where my solar is. I didn't even think about that, but my solar's on this side and the other side is the water pump and the hot water tank. So like you couldn't get in. So moral of the story, maybe keep a window unlocked if you're just going away for like an evening, just in case. Just in case. Because yeah, I shared with my dad and my dad's like, I don't know what I would do either. Like you only have one door on a lot of RVs. So yeah, that is what happened. So now I have a fancy new lock and I really love it. And I'm just going to give a shout out to Manasseh, my RV tech. He did not charge me near enough for what he did. He came out to save a girl who was stranded in the dark, get into her RV, and then came out the next day to put it in, and he charged me $150. Now guys, that's not his normal rate. I've paid his normal rate, but that's just the kind of human he is. And like, that just means the world to me. Like, I truly was packing a bag to go stay in a hotel, because what else am I gonna do? Like, it's 8 o'clock at night. I'm in the kind of the middle of nowhere. Like, what am I gonna do? So very thankful. He's my favorite human from this week for this. And now it's just so nice to have like such a solid lock. You know, when you purchase an RV, these things are not made well. Like, it's the industry. But the longer I live in them, the more I just laugh, because I'm just like, for an extra $100, they could have put a good lock in. Heck, they could just redo RV locks in general, because they're notoriously horrible, and then save everybody these problems. And yeah, it's just wild. These are things that would have happened in like the shakeout. I was already planning on replacing this. I was just going to do it when he comes back out to do my DC to DC charger. So we just had to do it a little early because I knew they notoriously are awful. They both broke in my teardrop too. I remember the fact that I had to duct tape my door shut on the way home. So anyhow, that is why I have that fancy little remote, which is super nice actually, I think, for like when your hands are full, because it works from my truck, which is really nice. Like, when I get out of my truck, I can hit it and then pick up all my stuff, and it's unlocked. And it talks to you, so if the batteries are gonna die, it tells you the batteries are gonna die. I was like, yes, 10 out of 10. And it also has keys, so like I have a key in my truck too. But anyhow, I am going to feed Feeny his food and get to work. I get in random food obsessions, and my current one right now is this Chobani coconut yogurt, their coconut Greek yogurt. I don't really like Greek yogurt, but I love this one. Sauteed apples with cinnamon and vanilla. Then the oats and honey protein granola. A little bit of that, a little bit more. And then you have this, and it is like apple cobbler. I think the coconut Greek yogurt tastes like ice cream more than any other Greek yogurt out there. And it's legit like the warmest, yummiest thing. I've had it every day this week. It's so good. It tastes like 2 minutes to make, which is perfect for RV life. It got to be a much busier day than I thought it was gonna be. I was gonna do some fun things in the middle of the day, but alas, we didn't get to do that. But it's a little early, so I grabbed a fancy beverage out of the cooler, and we are gonna go check out, which this is kind of one of my obviously favorite things to do, is to just go for drives and check out new areas. That's how I have found so many places that I have stayed, is just going for drives when I'm staying in the area. And a couple weeks ago when we were driving down the road, I saw a sign for a mining town. I don't know where this sign leads, but today is the day to figure it out. So let's go. But fancy beverage first. And Fiends is already in the truck because excited. You cool, boo? You cool? Okay.
Bed made your favorite coat, blanket the cold window, watching the falling snow. Take to the street, tear all the mirrors down, shake up the stomping ground, wait for the siren sound, call out to sea. When you wake up, you'll see it all. This time tomorrow will be home.
So we came about a half hour from where we were staying because the other day I saw this dilapidated sign, and it's for Robson's Mining World, and I was like, ooh, I need to stop there. Well, their website is ancient, and anything you can find is a couple years old, so I was like, okay, we'll just drive down here. As I came around the corner, there's another sign here that says Robson's Mining World with the hours. It's $15 cash, but it closed at 4. We're late by about a half hour, so I'm not gonna drive up there because it does look like it's just a singular road up there. We might just go for a little walk in the desert, which is super fun, and I'll call maybe next week to see what this is and like, can I come still visit it? visit it. You can see it up on the hill and it looks kind of cool, and everything I found online looks pretty cool, but I just don't know if it's even still there. Everything looks kind of dilapidated, so who knows? But we're gonna enjoy a walk in the desert because why not? We love that. Are you gonna take it across? Come on. Can you do it? Easy. You got that. Easy. Nice work. Nice work. So from where I parked, it had looked like that gate was the gate in, but it's open. And there's another sign right here with arrows. So I think it's still a functional place to visit, despite having its challenges to find online. Since they're technically closed, I'm not gonna drive the truck all the way up there. As I mentioned earlier, we make kind of an entrance. And I definitely don't want to be disrespectful if people live up there, especially since the sign very clearly says they're closed right now. But I'm definitely gonna look it up. If you go into Yelp, the website takes you to like a 55 and older community, which is why I was having a lot of trouble just trying to figure out. But this is how you do some things. Sometimes you just do scouting missions. This is a scouting mission, and it looks like it might be pretty cool up there. So we're just gonna walk and we're gonna enjoy. I mean, come on. Can you get any better, guys? This is stunning. Stunning.
Put your hand in my hand, darling, say go. Keep your eyes on the horizon, stay gold. All I need are your eyes, you're my arrow. Now we're running into the wild. I see the light.
We came to one of our favorite places to soak in the sunset. It's this overlook that as you head into Yarnell and as you actually come back down the hill, you can see the entire valley. You can actually see our pod. Well, not our pod exactly, but where it's at. And this has been something we come and do a couple times a week now. It's just so peaceful and so gorgeous. So we're gonna soak in the last rays of the day before we head back to the pod. And I'm gonna turn you around so you guys can see it too.
When the words get lost, you're my voice when I speak. When the roads cross, my steps below me. I don't see nothing but what you've shown me, and I belong with you. When the rain won't stop, you're the shelter I keep. And when the night comes, you're the bed where I sleep. Wherever I go, you go there with me. I belong with you. Yeah, I belong with you. I belong with you. It's what I was born to do. I belong with you.
I feel like it deserves like a round of applause or something, you know? That was one of the most epic sunsets I have seen in a long time. Very reminiscent of one that I saw at the Grand Canyon long time ago, so I'll try to put some footage in here if I can find it. just being able to watch the sun fully dip behind that mountain, you literally see it inching lower. It's something that I fell in love with, being able to see in the desert. And any mountain town really, you can often find spots like this, but in the desert you can find them quite a bit, and it's just super magical when you capture it at just the right time with just the right amount of clouds or no clouds and just the right amount of orangey glow. And it was orange this morning, and we all know orange is my favorite color, so great way to end the day. And we're gonna head back down the mountain, back to the pod for dinner and just a chill evening in, because we've got some fun plans tomorrow. So we'll catch you back at the pod. She's still hanging on too. That's another thing, y'all, about desert sunsets. If you've never experienced them, they hang on. Like, this will be going on for probably the next 40 minutes, which is just magical. I love it. Back to the pod. Got Feeny fed. Now I'm making my own dinner. I made a chicken tortilla soup the other day, and we've just been rocking this for like a week. Don't sleep on soups living in an RV. It's one big mess, and then you just heat everything up and it's gorgeous. Like, look at this. Look at that. So good. Top it with fresh tomatoes, cilantro, some lime, and these things, so good. So I'm gonna end the video here. I've got diners, drive-ins, and dives queued up. Feeny is chilling on the bed. We're just gonna snuggle in for the evening and enjoy a relaxing evening. Oh, I forgot the cheese. Can't, my good Lord. I had to interrupt the outro for the cheese, kids. Can't forget the cheese on this soup. But anyhow, I am going to wrap it up here, and we will catch you guys on the next adventure, wherever the road takes us. I got that correct this time. Yes, practicing. I'm kidding. It just sometimes works beautifully, y'all. Sometimes. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed hanging out on this. This is a very typical day for us. And you really cannot beat that this is just your average day, but also your favorite Friday. So yeah, we'll see you guys on the next adventure, wherever the road may take us, guys.